I went to the hassle-free, and then I have an STI.
Nice.
So I'm like,
High five.
the mundane, how mundane is married life.
Yeah.
That was like the week
And you know
after we just got married. I was like,
I'm honestly surprised with myself that ever since I've started like fucking around with people since I was like in my later years of high school, you know, after I lost my virginity, I haven't caught anything.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm surprised that because I'm reckless with my sex life or anything. I'm not at all. I'm always, you know, adamant about protection and getting tested.
Sure.
But it just has to do with the rate of like how many friends I know who have caught something, like whether it's chlamydia or
common,
something that's very treatable. It just freaks me out how like common it is. It's crazy, right?
It is very common.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, most people have something and don't even know it, which is why it's important to get tested really often, because a lot of things don't display symptoms, and you could have it forever before and you could be giving it to people without knowing.
I love the technology now. You can go get your finger pricked and know your HIV status in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, literally, like people, there's should not be a fear to go and get your STIs, like STI check done, your blood test done, because it's so quick and easy. Like at the hassle-free in Toronto, you don't even need a health card. You can walk in, put your name, you know, you take a number, sit for an hour,
piss in this cup, thank you,
and goodbye, and like they'll call you in a week or whatever, you know. And they offer free counseling sessions as well. Say you do contract something, you need to ask questions, you don't know anything about it, you don't necessarily want to trust everything you read on the internet, you know, you can actually sit down with somebody for an hour if you want to, after having a diagnosis, and just asking questions. It's amazing. You can bring your partner, you can bring all your partners to like sit down and all ask questions. It's really, really valuable resource. Very lucky to be living in Canada and specifically Toronto.
Thank you.
Yeah. Totally.
Bless Canada.
Yeah, God bless Canada. It was Canada Day weekend kind of a while ago. Oh, true. Canada, baby. So about, are you kind of at the point now where you're like looking for more girlfriend material rather than the swiping on the Tinder?
Yeah, like, because, you know, like I said, it's
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I turned 24 in March.
Okay, you're a baby.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason about me wanting to kind of search and have something a little more intimate one-on-one with someone is just because I'm a sensitive ass Pisces. I'm a water sign. Not that I really believe in astrology, but I feel like I have a bunch of friends who are, and I'm constantly asking them, like, and when I get a new match, I'm like, yo, I'm going on this date. She was born in October. What's our compatibility? Yeah. What's our sun and moon sign? Like, do you think I should even bother showing up? Like, oh yeah.
Is it doomed right from the start?
Yeah. Who knows? No, but again, it's all about finding that common ground, and I'd like to, because I'm kind of just sick and tired of, you know, showing up, going home disappointed because like they're nothing like you envisioned them that they would be, like personality wise.
Yeah, you romanticize it when you see their profile. You're like, oh, this is the perfect person. Yeah. It's like, well, yeah.
I've been on some disappointing dates where like one was like, I go and like, I kid you not, the entire time she's talking about how much she like can't get over her job at Sephora, and I try to like sway the conversation so that I'm like, what was the last time you went on a vacation with your family? What was the last concert you went to? What do you and your friends do?
Sephora.
And she just complaining
bring
about
her
the
right
job.
back around.
I'm like, okay, that's it. Yeah, I'm done.
I can't.
Bye.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I don't have time for that bullshit. No.
So what do you think about where like your sex work stuff will come into play, and even your disability stuff will come into play when you talk about like a partner?
That's the thing, right? I have a lot of nails in my coffin. Once they can get past and be cool with the disabled shit, then they have to be cool with the sex work shit. So it's gonna take a really specific kind of person to really, you know, vibe that will vibe with me.
Right. So. Is that a fear you have?
Always. It's always a fear in the back of my mind when I go up and meet them. And leading up to the date and conversation, if I can mention both of those things, I will.
That's the thing. Yeah, on Tinder, do you tell? Yeah.
No, I don't list any of that information. What I do normally do is I'll just like link them my Instagram and let them find out for themselves.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then if you get a message back after that, you're like, okay, then
they're good. Like, okay, DTF, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so funny. It's like when I think about sex work, because I'm like borderline on whether I would consider myself a pornographer or not.
Because you're basically like the Joe Rogan for Toronto sex work.
Right. But like, yeah, it's interesting with like when I think of what my partner, meaning my partner Matt, my husband, I can call him my husband now.
When were you married? What month? How long ago? What was the exact?
On July.
July. Okay.
Yeah. Mid-July. I say mid-July because I'm not sure if it was the 14th or 15th. That's something you're gonna have to figure out and remember for the future.
For all your legal documents. Yeah, it's kind of important.
And that's a thing that, you know, would have to have a lot of input from him, whether I would want to do other types of sex work. That's a huge decision that I feel like we would need to think about as a team. And
like what kind of stuff?
Like, you know, if I ever wanted to like do like doming is a thing that is kind of in the stratosphere of maybe happening or whatever.
Here's a legitimate question I have. Do you feel that a majority of doms are sort of subs in their real life and they kind of just use the dominatrix angle to sort of explore their sexuality in a way?
I tell you what, that would be true for myself.
Okay.
I mean, doms are, everyone is different. Every single one is different. A lot of people like only know doming and they've done their whole lives and that's why they got into it, because they're like fucking experts about it. It can come in like so many different ways. Something that you know, some people do as well, if they're like if they're like an alpha dom lady, then they'll be only submissive like to their main partner. Like that's a thing that is kind of common, though of course obviously everybody's not like that. It comes in a lot of so many different combinations and ways, but like it's interesting the conversation that me and Matt have about sex work, because it just in general I'm like, okay, you know, you're just like tolerating all my shit all the time.
Is he gonna play into it too and help out with like throw the gimp mask on him and all that weird
Definitely
shit?
Not.
No,
Oh
he's
my
not into
god.
That. Yeah, neither
not
am I.
even
I
a
don't
little
know,
bit.
Like, neither am I. Like the rubber and all the leather and stuff.
Latex,
it's not really my thing. To me, it's just like an extra layer that you have to take off. Like, it's like, what's the?
When are we gonna get naked? Yeah. And it's funny, like now and again he'll bring up like, oh yeah, did you know, you should just do phone sex work, you should just be a dom. And I'm like, it always surprises me because I'm always like, aren't you are you ashamed of me? But he's not. It's just my own insecurities.
That's what I say.
Right?
Like, that's what I say. Like
he's my biggest fan. He's my biggest supporter. But like, you know, that thing in your head where you're like, oh, shouldn't you not like all this stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I say too. But like, I couldn't give less of a fuck if they were a sex worker. I'd be all for it, right?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, as long as you're stacking and, you know, stacking the guap and you know, you're not everything's consensual and it's not super illegal and you're not selling hard drugs on the side and everything's Gucci, then I'm all for it.
Then go for it. Yeah, I have a few partners. I have a few female partners that are sex workers as well. Like basically one whole like branch of my tree, my relationship tree is like all sex workers.
I feel I'm sort of the same too, but when it comes to like friends and stuff, I have like, you know, different circles. I have my friends from school who are like friends, my main day one people who I fuck with on the regular, hang out with, and then I have my little circle I call my host friends, or my host circle, right?
Yo, I got that circle.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like I don't like to mingle my groups together, and I guess in certain circumstances, from what I've heard from friends with polyamory especially, there can be a lot of drama, you know? If one person links up with someone or says something or does something, then every fucking person's going to know and hear about it. You know, who's fucking who? What did Cindy say to Jason last month at the party when he was screwing with her side piece? And who's overstepped the boundary, and someone couches feels and did that and said what to my boyfriend. You know, someone made a move and they didn't tell me, and that's sort of why I'm apprehensive about exploring polyamory.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same drama that you would have
like high school stuff.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people that are like really grounded polyamorous people that really know what they're doing emotions wise and everything like that. But yeah, it's the same drama that you would have with, say, your girlfriend, but multiply it by how many people. So the potential is definitely there.
Of
It's
course.
not always easy. It's not even mostly easy.
Yeah. And on the other hand too, for me, like I've always been like super private when it comes to like dating and like my friends and my family, and I don't really like people knowing like who I'm doing like weird nasty shit with or who I'm screwing.
Right.
They might see the very rare like Instagram story update when I'm out on a date or whatever, but like that'll be it. Like just because I'm more of a private person, right? And that's the thing where I'm apprehensive about entertaining the idea for that kind of a lifestyle, because I just want to lay low at all times and do my own thing and not have everyone all up in my business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. Like I obviously talk about being polyamorous on the podcast, but do I talk about it openly in every group
And
of
describe
friends?
who you're seeing and what you're doing
and
every night,
every social
weekend.
situation? No, definitely not. There are certain people that I can gab to about it, but definitely I don't like openly talk about it, with like family friends or like, like there are a lot of groups where I definitely am more like on the DL about it. For sure.
Yeah, sometimes I'll send my mom pictures and she'll be like, look at what I showed all of my friends who are like 60 and 70 years old.
That's so funny. My mom like always likes all my pictures
Yeah.
that are like half nude. She's like, beautiful. It's really funny.
I'm like, Mom, check out this one I hooked up with last night. And she'll be like, oh yeah, she's a real good one. She's cute. Good one. Good job, son.
Good job, son. That's adorable. Okay, well, we should be wrapping it up now, actually, Daniel. So why don't you tell the people where they can buy your shit, where they can find you and everything.
So they can go on and download everything directly on my website, which is danieljamesxxx.com. They can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, both at the same handle, which is at ratchetboy, boy spelt B0Y. And bi-weekly cam shows on cam4.com/DanielJamesX.
Amazing. I love talking with you. And I love how we have the Q&As at the Bedpost stage show as well.
Yeah.
Let's do more of both, shall we?
Sure. Yeah.
What are the things I have to say? So, okay.
Do you have any coming up in the fall?
Yeah. Well, actually, talking of Andrea Warehunt, in September, she's doing a modern horror takeover of Bedpost.
Oh,
so she's
bless.
booking both those shows in September.
Is she doing readings from the whole?
Yep, she'll be doing readings. She'll be booking all the acts. She'll be hosting because I'm going to be gone on my honeymoon.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Cool.
Yeah. And it's going to be really cute. The posters are all her like spanking me. So it's like modern horror takeover.
I love the one that you two did for the beach poses.
Wait till you see these
God,
like
yes.
spanking ones. They're really
Amazing.
fun. So yeah, if you are in Toronto and want to see Bedpost, a stage show, we do it twice a month here in Toronto. The first one is the third Friday of every month at 8 at Social Capital Theatre. The last one is the last Tuesday of every month at Super Wonder Gallery at 9. We want to give a huge thank you to Eggplant Media, to the Sonar Network, to the Pacific Junction Hotel, who's hosting us right now. And if you are watching us on iTunes or another podcasting app, a rate and reviewing always goes a really long way. If you're watching us on YouTube, comment, share it around, subscribe. It does really great things to me and my business. And if you're listening to the audio version, you are going to hear original music by Stephanie Copeland, who can be reached at her website, stephcopelandmusic.com. Another thank you to Daniel James, pornographer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I didn't swipe right on Tinder, then don't DM me. Don't DM me.
Just don't.
No.
And thank you to everyone who's listening and watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.